Hi, welcome to my automotive show EKG Canadian Enthusiast. Before starting the show, I want to hit the like button and subscribe to my show. Now let's get started. Now the reason there is a change in the name is because of the personal tragedy I experienced, because of the loss of my father and my grandfather. Both of them were a true titans and legends in journalism in Sri Lanka. This is my tribute for them. That's why the name change has now been made here. So now let's get started. Now, as you all know right now, Infiniti have decided to debut the facelifted Infiniti QX80. Now the QX80 Infiniti, as you all know, is powered by a 5.6 liter V8 with 400 horsepower and of course 400 horsepower. Now 5 SUV, 8 seats, 7-speed automatic, trim levels Lux, Premium Select and Sensory. Now as I seen the pictures of the exterior and the interior of the Infiniti, and I must admit, and I truly loved it. It looks good. The older it gets, the better it becomes in my book. Some people might call it old-fashioned, but not for me. I think it's a good, reliable, bulletproof luxury SUV. Prices will start from $71,000 to all the way to $83,000 for the Sensory model. Now moving on from Infiniti, let's talk about the VW Jetta. The VW Jetta, as we all know, now got a massive facelift. It has an all-new engine, a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine with 158 horsepower, the same as the VW Toyos. Now, of course, also there is a change in trim levels. Now there is a mid-spec trim called the Sport trim above the S trim. And of course, there are more changes. Now the GLI model is available only in one trim, the GLI Autobahn model. So that's the fully loaded GLI model. Now that's powered by the 2-liter TSI turbocharged 4-cylinder with 228 horsepower and 150 plus mile/hour top speed for the VW Jetta GLI. Now the other overall specs: 4-door saloon, front wheel drive, 8-speed automatic, a 6-speed manual gearbox or a 7-speed DSG for the GLI. Now you can have the manual and the DSG in the GLI model if you want. I recommend go for the manual gearbox. It's the best gearbox to have, there is no question about it. Now prices will start on trim levels: S, Sport, SE, SEL and GLI Autobahn. Now prices will start from $20,000 to all the way to $27,000 for the SEL model and $32,000 in my book for the GLI Autobahn version. So pricing is competitive. This should be the best compact car for the money you can buy right now. It should be way better than the Honda Civic, even though the new Civic is really, really good. Just so I thought you should know that. Moving on from that, let's talk about Subaru. Subaru have finally revealed the North American spec facelifted Subaru Forester. It's finally ready. Now of course specs: 5-door SUV, 5 seats, all-wheel drive, CVT, trim levels base, premium, sport, limited, wilderness. Yes, the wilderness trim finally joins the Forester. Yes, and the touring trim, powered by the same 2.5 liter engine, making the same poultry 182 horsepower. You are not buying this for performance, you are buying this for comfort. That's what you're buying this for, and off-road capabilities. Prices will start from $26,000 to all the way to $36,000. The wilderness trim costs $33,945,000. In my mind, in my recommendation, I recommend you to buy the wilderness trim. It's the best trim to have in my book. Moving on from the Subaru Forester, let's talk about the launch of the Mercedes-Benz s10. It's their version of the Renault Kangoo. Unlike in the past, the new Mercedes-Benz s10 is a true Mercedes-Benz. I've seen the interior and the exterior, and I can truly tell you, it feels and luxurious like what a Mercedes-Benz should be. And that means if you buy this mid-size van, you won't feel like you're buying a van. You will feel like buying a Mercedes-Benz. That's a good thing. Now specs: 5-door van, 5 seats, front wheel drive, 7-speed ETCT, trim levels base and pro. Now engine options in my guess are the same 1.5 liter diesel with 115 horsepower or the 1.3 liter with 130 horsepower. Now in my guess the prices should be starting from $20,000 to $25,000 for the Pro trim. Now in the future there would be an even more luxurious T-class model, T-class version. Now, I don't know how much more luxurious they can make a Mercedes-Benz sit-in, but if they can make it better, I won't mind it. I think that's a good thing. So yes, moving on from that to another Mercedes news. Mercedes-Benz had revealed all new range topper for their Mercedes AMG GT4. It's the Mercedes AMG Gt4 63 SE Performance. Yep, it's their plug-in hybrid range topper. Its specs: four-door coupe, all-wheel drive, 9-speed automatic models. Now the rest of the lineup: GT4 43 AMG, 53 AMG, 63 AMG, 63 AMG S. This is the big daddy, the range topper, the big daddy of the all. Now it's powered by a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 with a plug-in hybrid system, making combined output of 831 horsepower. This thing knocks the Porsche, Panamera, Taycan, Teslas out of the park. Take that, Tesla. Top speed 196 miles per hour. 0 to 60 less than 2.9 seconds. It will be definitely quicker than they are saying. Trust the Germans on that. Overall, the prices, I think the price will start around $150,000 or more in my book. That's my guess. But that's my guess. So moving on from that, let's talk about Tank, the Chinese brand who makes luxury SUVs for the Chinese market and now globally. Now the Tank 300 which you talked about, I loved it. This is the Tank 500. It's their mid-size SUV, but there is a wheelbase of a Land Cruiser 300, weirdly enough. So in short, it's a competitor for the Land Cruiser 300 and the Land Cruiser Prado, if you think about it. Some specs: 5-door SUV, 7 seats, 4-wheel drive, 9-speed auto. Trims not announced yet. Now, engine is a 3-liter mild hybrid V6, making 349 horsepower. That's more than a Prado, but that's less than an LC300. Now, is it a proper LC300 competitor or a Prado competitor? In my book, it's a Prado competitor, not a Range Rover or a Land Cruiser competitor. For that, you got to get the Tank 800. That's a different story for that vehicle. But overall, I think this is a good effort from the Chinese brand. I see in the interior and the exterior, I love it. I think it's a very butch, muscular, good-looking luxury SUV. There is no question about that. Prices will start from $46,000 in China right now. Moving on from that, let's talk about the Dacia Jogger, which is Dacia's new mid-size MPV, which has 3 rows of seating capacity, but now you can have that with also just 2 rows. Let's talk specs. 5-door MPV, 5 seats or 7 seats, front wheel drive, a 6-speed manual gearbox, engines 1-liter 3-cylinder turbo with 108 horsepower. Then there's the LPG version of this thing coming with 99 horsepower, and I won't talk about that. In the future, there would be a hybrid model with 139 horsepower in my book. Let's talk about trim levels. Trim levels are essential, comfort, and extreme. Now, despite its price tag of $13,000 to $19,000 in my book, this has a better interior than many products from Audi or VW. That proves how good Dacia is. It's giving you an interior of a $50,000 to $70,000 vehicle, but in a vehicle that costs $19,000 or $30,000. That's a tremendous achievement by Dacia. That should be applauded up front by Dacia, indeed. So that's the case on that. So on this note, I'm going to end this video. Thank you very much for joining me on this show. Thank you very much.